Navnit, what's up, dude?
I'm doing okay. Joe, how are you doing?
Doing
Thanks for
fine. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we spent quite a bit of time together over the year, on and off. So I think maybe tell the audience what we've been up to.
yeah, I think you have already been very popular on internet. So anyways, I don't know even people know it, but yeah, we've been working to an very exciting offering for all the folks who are in data space.
Yeah,
So been working with Joe from last 1 year to, in fact, more than that now. It's been to build a data engineering course. So that going to available in Coursera.
yeah,
If
stoked.
and especially like on a serious note, if you're looking to get started, if you're looking to transition to your career, and if you wanna and if you're working on a legacy technology, you wanna have a hands-on experience around the cloud, how the flavor look like, and or if you're in any other field, you're looking to transition to the data field because that's you said right, data is a new oil, and that's what is in my book too.
Yeah,
So, anyways, so if you definitely want to try out this course, and we have amazing. Joe brought so many amazing guests. Even I was not aware of that. So other is we on the AWS side we have really concentrated on bringing what's going on within the industry. Not like okay, you can go and do any random exercise. It was very thoughtful exercise what we're looking to bring to the table. So
yeah,
anyone learning, they can get started their journey from day one. They're able to find, hey, this is what we actually do on a day-to-day basis, and this is how you're able to do within AWS. This is how this is like kind of in a simplified way.
Mm.
So yeah, that's a must 2024 or 2025 must have course in for you.
Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, and I think diving more into you and your background, I guess for people who don't know who you are, do you want to give an intro about yourself?
Yeah, of course. So
Yeah.
this is Navneet. I work as a senior solution architect with AWS on the data and AI ML space. And before it's been a five and a half year within AWS. I was telling Joe about like it's still a day one for me, like where you feel like still learning something new. So again, this is a great place to work with. Before AWS, I spent 1 year with a small startup called um, oh my God, I forget the name. So,
That's how it usually goes. I did the same thing.
TrueCar, and before that, I was with a company called in a East Coast. There was a company called Data Intensity. I was there,
Mm.
so I was working as a DB and later transitioned to the Hadoop world when the Hadoop was still new.
Oh yeah,
The cloud era and hot and work and all the good stuff. So that's where I started my technically that's where I started my data engineering journey. And then since then I've been doing the data engineering. Yeah.
that's so cool. Walk me through that. I mean, you're you've been in data for a long time. Got to see the early days of Hadoop and through today. What anything stand out to you in terms of I guess
Yeah,
anything?
usually, yeah, I think even today when I talk to my friends, especially who looking to get in, hey, can you guide us or can you provide any voice of wisdom? Though I'm not that old, but more like when I started my career back in 2009, we were very focused on one technology. I was more around the COBOL developer. That's the next in species now. But I started there, and then I transitioned to the DBA world. I was a Microsoft SQL Server DBA. Even I worked supported Microsoft couple of years there. So what I have learned is we had this one very specific technology where you were working like you were concentrated towards whether so one like one databases, one ETL tool, etc. That's not the case anymore. Like definitely you need to be knowing the flavor of multiple steps. So if you are in databases, must be knowing SQL Server, you must be knowing Oracle, uh, PostgreSQL, MongoDB, NoSQL, DynamoDB, whatever you want. I mean, more like a just not one databases or one tool. You have to expand yourself. And other thing which I have been learn is this landscape evolving so really fast. We've been talking, it's feel like, we had it's feel like distinct past, but like literally 5 6 year ago, six maybe 7 year ago, we had a Hadoop, was like everyone was talking around the Hadoop. Then we had this data ware, like with the Snowflake, we had this big jump on the data warehousing. Then we had this data lake. Now we moved to data lake 2.0, like transactional data lake, etc. So this space is evolving very rapidly, and yeah, so keep eye on it, look what's going on in the market, and adjust accordingly.
How do you stay on top of things? It seems like given the rapid pace of evolution in the space, I guess you have one of two choices. You can stick with a technology like Hadoop for a long time, and you could still be doing Hadoop today, I guess, or you can keep evolving your skills. You don't strike me as the kind of guy who's stuck on Hadoop right now. Um, so, uh, how do you keep ahead? How do you stay on top of things? Because there's, like you say, there's a lot to learn, and it's evolving all the time.
Yeah, that's again, it's very difficult question. First is that definitely you should be going for our data engineering course. That help. I mean, on a serious note, you have to work for an org who embrace the culture of change. If you
Yeah.
are in if you are in an org where, because eventually, like, it's all more like a brute force, like, okay, you have to, yeah, based on your job, right, where you have to go and learn. Because hey, if I think like, hey, I'm so motivated, I can go and every day I can read n number of books and blogs, that's not gonna help, right? Eventually, unless
Mhm.
until I'm not doing something hands-on, it's not related to my job where, it put me in perspective what's going on. And actually, that may or may not help, because if you go for an interview and someone asks, hey, you've been working on this technology, help us to understand, like, how are you using this technology? So unless until you do not have a real use case to share with, that's going to be difficult. But of course, look for an org which constantly push you in a change. And other is definitely, there are, I think, it's very fascinating. We are living in an era where learning is absolutely free. If someone really want to learn something,
Yeah.
they have not to spend, trust me, they have not to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to learn something new. All the, we have very good platform like Coursera, we have very good platform like Deep Learning, Udemy, where you can just pay
Mhm.
$10 and learn anything,
It's
right?
so cheap.
Yeah.
YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube, right? YouTube free. Like, I mean, many great people. They just put their knowledge to share. That's remind me. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. Sorry,
What's your
I'm using
channel?
your platform to
What is your
promote.
what's your channel on YouTube?
It's a cloud and coffee with Navnit.
Oh yeah, you do some awesome podcasts now
Yeah,
as
I did
well.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool. Um, and you wrote a book, by the way.
I did.
What was that about?
It's a data wrangling on AWS. So I actually wanted to write a book on data engineering on AWS. And it
Okay.
happened to be my friend Garrett. He was quicker than me.
Oh,
And
no way.
yeah, he was like, I submit the proposal to write this book. And I happened and learned, like, okay, now Gareth is already writing it. I was like, dude, how come? Then
Was there a chance you
then
guys could have co-authored it?
no, I think he was supposed to come. He was almost about to complete when I put a proposal. So
Oh no.
yeah. And thereafter, then okay, what I should able to wrong right now is, okay. Let's talk about same stuff by giving the different name, call it data wrangling. So
Right.
and so yeah, that's what I end up writing, data wrangling on AWS.
Well, book titles aren't copyrightable, so if you really wanted to, you could make the data engineering on AWS book. And I'm just kidding. Well, you can do that. People have done that with my book. There's a bunch of titles on Amazon with fundamentals of data engineering in the title. In fact, a week before our book came out, there was actually a summary of fundamentals of data engineering on Amazon. We're just like, what? Why? The book's not even out yet. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
no. Your books is quite popular. Like I always see like on LinkedIn some other person is reading on your book. So
It's cool to
congrats.
see. Yeah, but walk me through the book writing process for you, because it was, writing a book is, I don't care what book it is, unless you're having ChatGPT write the whole thing. Writing a book's hard,
I wish at when I started writing we could have the chat GPT. It could have made my
right?
job super
Oh yeah, you
easy.
were sort of the pre-chat, like right at the cutoff there,
Yeah,
where it's
I'm a
like
pre-chat GPT era book writer, so that was little.
that's actually, I think, a claim to fame though in some ways, because it's like I actually like made like a book with my own hands and brain, not just a robot. So, what was it like writing a book?
Uh, So I think the first chapter, the first few chapter was very difficult for sure because that's one my very first experience writing a book anyway. So and then like I think the formulating the thought, right? Okay, this is how your book should structure. This is how you're looking to present. So when I start writing my first chapter, I was like, hey, I should be talking about why the data is important, right? And then I was like, okay, everyone is talking in industry, data is the new oil. So how should I able to correlate that? How the oil goes into multiple process when you actually it's available for us to use, whether it's for our cars or whether it's for the jet engine or for anything else, right? Same like with the data itself, it has to go through multiple process and then eventually it will be available, whether it's for machine learning or whether it's for dashboarding for or any other processes. So that was my area. So I started writing on it. So I started writing and the more and then more and more I started reading about this stuff, right? Okay, mine because I have that knowledge which is limited of course, right? So and then when you do a book writing process, start going investigating, start reading others articles, what's going on. So you write something and then you're like, hey, this is not that great, then rewrite something, this is not making sense, I should have been writing something different, or there should be a different flow. So we started so the first couple chapters took a lot of time, but once you are in rhythm, like hey, then it become easy. And then also I had a couple of really good co-authors with me.
Awesome.
That helped me to make the process easy. Initially I thought, okay, I'm gonna write my own, but I realized that's not possible. If I start writing my own, it will take more than a couple years even just to publish the book. Especially the because the uh, the bad part about the technology, if you're writing about technology, it get like soon it get like old. So now new thing is in market. So by the time I finished one chapter, and after like 6 7 months, there was a new thing within market about the same about the same stuff. So then I have to go and add those and revise something. So this at least to ensure like okay, when I'm releasing my book, at least it should be latest at the point of time. But okay, right. So it was a tedious process for sure.
Oh yeah, it is. And I think you bring up a good point. So your first few chapters, I think I always found chapter one's the hardest to write because it sets a tone for the entire book, but you don't know what the entire book is yet. So you can take a stab at it, but it's um so for authors out there, I would say like write the first chapter, do a draft of it, but then just leave it alone until you're about done with the book and come back to it because it's like the first chapter will change mentally for you. Probably most likely, unless you're really good at chapter one and you have an idea for your book and you can just get it knocked out. But it's yeah, you're absolutely right. It's hard. Like what? Okay, so you were about data wrangling with AWS. Um, what is data wrangling?
So data wrangling is a process to let your data go through multiple stages, right? Whether it's more around you will be doing the data processing, you will be doing the data curation, you will be doing the more like mm, checking the completeness of data, checking the accuracy of the data. So all those things, and then more like doing the data quality around it. Within that, you will be checking all those things, and then eventually making the data available for you to use. So just think of if I have to say, like, it's similar what we do within the ETL, but it's much more intended towards the business goal. Hey, this is my business goal, and this is for this business goal. If I have to process the data, how the data should be processed and make it available. And that's what the data wrangling, so because people use ETL and data wrangling interchangeably. Hey, whether I
Hmm.
should be doing the data wrangling or I should be doing the ETL on my data. ETL is more like, hey, I've extracted the data, more like on the technology side of the world, where, hey, I'm bringing the data, performing some kind of an operation, like, maybe putting some filter, etc., and then bringing the data or changing the data type, etc., and then bringing the data. Whereas in data wrangling, a whole process is defined towards what actually I'm looking to solve with the data, and then you will be making all kind of transformation on the data there.
Got it. Um, and it seems like data wrangling, probably more use cases downstream. Like when I think of data wrangling, when I hear it, it's commonly associated with like data science, for example. Um, is that accurate?
It's not, means is again, right, as I said, like, this entire process is defined for business use case in mind.
Okay,
So I happen to be data science team has a tool around it, like, hey, data wrangler, we have this data wrangler. It's
right.
get associated with the data science, but especially we have a data wrangler within the AWS. We have a service name called data wrangling, which is being part of the SageMaker, which is our platform for you to do to do the data science work or build, train, and deploy your model. So that's why, like, it got related. But again, data wrangling can be done for your BI too, if you are a BI org. But the whole premises around the data, whole idea around the data wrangling is to keep the business use case in mind and
Mm.
work backward from there and do all kind of a data massaging and then make the data available. So whether it's for data science use case, whether it's for BI use case, whether it's for any other use cases.
Are there some common patterns in data wrangling?
Um, Common patterns, yes, definitely having the data brought in from the data sources, right? Going through all the have to go back and look for all the stages now,
Yeah,
but it goes through all the different stages and then make it available for the end use consumption here.
yeah. That's interesting. And in writing the book, is there anything, how do you feel you changed in your understanding of data wrangling from when you had the idea for the book to when you finished it?
So again, for us, the whole concept, like, okay, how can you able to use different AWS services, right? So we've been in our book been talking around how you can have the data wrangling get started. Maybe I can bring, just give me 1 second, I can
Oh
bring
yeah,
and
no worries. Yeah, please do.
showcase in my book. So that's how this is, I think this is one of the chapter, which is kind of hell, like, okay, I'm not sure if you're able to see the book here. So
Yeah.
this is one of the chapter, which this is the crux of the book, to for the end user, right? How the different stages of your here we are doing that, what we call it, processing of your data or oil, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to make a resemble. Because oil goes through the different temperature and that it will be available for you to use. Same goes with the data wrangling as well. It goes through the different processes and different stages, and that data will be available for you to use for whatever the use case you're looking to have. So this is little different what we do on a day-to-day data engineering, right? More around when we have this data, raw data, when it's more around data discovering. Hey, I'm having this use case. Do I really have the right data in very first place itself? Identifying the data, thereafter doing and structuring, hey, I have this use case. Do my data look like actually look like for the structure which has helped me for my work, right? Other is definitely once you know this the data is there, the data is the structure which I need is there, then you will start doing and cleaning. Hey, do I really need all the data or do you just need a portion of the data? And thereafter you will be doing data enrichment. Hey, it seems like data is having some kind of a biasing, or like that's why like people start relating it to the data science world, but it
Yeah,
can be anywhere, right?
sure.
So okay, it has a lot of null value. Maybe I wanna kind of replace with some kind of other value. Maybe it has some kind of a missing value, or maybe the customer phone number is not matching the format and all, right? So all those things you can do that. Thereafter, you will be having this data validation. Hey, now everything's look fine. Let's try and see if this data is working. If the data is working, then eventually you will be publishing the data. So anyone able to use the data for their use cases.
Got it. That's super cool. Since you wrote since the book was finished with data wrangling, uh, generative AI and large language models have become super popular. Where does data wrangling fit in to this type of machine learning or
Yeah,
AI?
that's really good question because nowadays every day I'm been talking around the Gen AI with the customers. One fundamental question I ask is, do you have the data, right? Can't be like, because Gen AI this is awesome. It's being trained on the open source, open world data that may or may not be relevant to you because unless until you are not a poet who's going to, hey, can you just tell me, write me a poetry around data wrangling, that where I think ChatGPT will do really any any LLM model can, sorry, ChatGPT guys, any LLM model can do wonder, right? Or generating the random images and everything as such. Whereas when you have a stake, like when you will be looking to publish or looking to build something for your org, other thing you one thing you looking is accuracy.
Mm.
Even if you have like 99% accuracy, if we scale that to for a bigger org, right? And for the longer period of time, that will be significant. Like, you can't just go with that unless until, hey, especially if you're looking to expose to your end user. Just think of you're a financial institute, you're looking to expose to an end user some kind of a chatbot, and chatbot start hallucination, right? Start giving all kind of a good, really good made up answer. So that's where like having the data foundation is key. And again, and for God's sake, LLM is not to solve every use case, right? It's not that is there. You've been using AI, you've been using personalization and everything as such. It improve it. It's improve upon what you already been doing, but it's not going to replace it, right? So the first thing is to understand the limitation where the LLMs fit in, right? And what it can do best, understanding that. The second is definitely to know, do I'm having the right data or not. It can't be, because if you're giving it like a garbage in, garbage out, right? So it applies with an LLM as well. If you're giving it garbage data, you will be getting the garbage response. Because and LLM is really good on making the garbage response looks really cool as well. So so yeah, there are like so first of all, for anyone who is looking to have an LLM, build your data foundation and subscribe to our data engineering course on Coursera.
Please do. What does a good data foundation look like when you talk to customers? What you do every day about this? And again, this like, large language models and generative AI, it seems to have captured the world's imagination. And every time I'm at a conference, every business person I talk to is, they're gung ho about AI. Like, we're gonna do AI, and I'm like, that's cool. That's awesome. What does that mean to you? And then you bring up data foundations. I completely agree. It's probably the most important thing, but I feel like it's also very overlooked. Uh, what does a good data foundation look like to you?
So good data foundation is to me is, and again, right, usually people, when we talk around the data foundation, they think like, okay, we should be doing something extraordinary, right? No, I mean, uh, data foundation is whatever system you're using, whatever mean you will be looking to feed your LLM, the data looking to feed to your LLM, does that has a good data quality check or not? The data which you're bringing in does even make sense or not in very first place itself, the use case which you're looking to solve. So if you're looking to build, let's say if you're looking to do a marketing, I've seen there's a lot of interest around how you're able to improve, uh, how you're able to improve the marketing experience for your more around the personalization. How can you able to send a right email to your customer, right? When I'm going and searching something, how I'm finding the right information for me, or how I'm presenting the right? So that more information around it, like a lot of use cases around the semantic search. So and more around other is how to other use case which I'm seeing is a lot around industry, the self-service is
Hmm.
how able to enable your end user so they're able to easily find easily able to find all the documentations which is available across different places. So let's say talk around m- this finding the right information or increasing the customer productivity, right? So if you have a wiki and you find, okay, this wiki is you're looking to crawl the wiki, but the wiki is very outdated, like 3, 4, 5 year old or 2 year old, or and it do not have information, right? So if the data is not there, the what you're looking to feed to your LLM, right, it will be providing the information based on the data it is available and which is being trained on, and then it will be giving you a response there, right? So if you're going into that, like the how the data freshness is there, is the data is how accurate the data is there, that's what the data foundation is all about. And it should not be, okay, I'm having the data, I'm not having data lake, should I go with the data lake? No, if you are
Hmm.
running on databases, if your business are good on a database, you don't need to be in a data lake. Hey, I'm not have this transactional data lake. Should I be building the transactional data lake first to get? No, if you're already running your data warehouse and if you are sufficient, if you have like enough data to get start, you can just literally able to feed that to your LLM. So the whole idea is looking for data freshness, looking for data accuracy, looking to validate the data is coming from is 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 accurate. It has all the relevant information for you to provide information.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because you say garbage in, garbage out. It is interesting because I think that there's a conflation that you have to have a certain type of architecture to take advantage of these things. I'm not sure what you see out there, but in discussions I have, it's like it only works on like a lake house type architecture, I guess Data Lake 2.0, for example, and stuff like that. Do you see things like this too, or am I kind of in my own bubble?
Yeah, that's what, like, usually customer they get really influenced by what's going on around the internet, and this is now we are having this lake house architecture which someone come up with such a good marketing name, right? Now I should be having, and if I'm not having it, I should not be successful. Hey,
Right.
how I can build the lakehouse architecture on AWS? How can we have this data 2.0 in AWS? Hey, if you are a company where you need to maintain, wanted to have wanted to do asset transactions against your data lake, that's where you wanted to have it. But if you don't need it, right? You don't need it in the very first place itself. As I said earlier, right? If you're a company running a database, and if you feel like your database is good enough, you can get started there, right? You don't need to be bringing the data to your search engine to get started for to having the Q&A. And the funny part is like a lot now every stages, like whether it's a data warehouse, databases, data lakes, data lake 2.0, or even file system, they start giving you some kind of a vector, vector storage, which you can able to use it to feed to your LLM. So
Hmm.
no, like you don't need to be on any very latest and greatest platform to get started.
Another thing I hear is that I am a company and I have to train my own large language model. Uh, what do you think of that? Of starting from scratch and building your own model?
So it goes through the different stages for sure. So one is definitely if you're looking to if you're looking to again what kind of use case you have, right? So if you're a company who's much more on a creative side of the world, where hey, we wanted to build some kind of a product catalog and all, you may or may not be a need to train your model because the current model are very sophisticated anyways. The only thing you have to worry about what kind of prompting you are giving
Yeah.
to your LM, and then it will be giving you a response. Whereas when we go and talks towards more around the very specific and niche information, like hey, you've been in retail domain and you are very specific customer, you are selling something which is being unique to you, you have to train your data. Not a train means more like a, yeah, train, yeah. You have to do some kind of training against your data, and then you will be once it's more like you will be building this RAG, and thereafter the next step will be, hey, are this the response which I'm getting is sufficient enough, right? Or is solving my problem. So maybe like, okay, it's giving me response, but I just somehow somewhere I see this there the hallucination is happening. That's where you will be going into the tuning space. All the hyperparameters being offered by your LLMs, you will be going tuning them. Hey, what should be the top top key look like for me? What's the
Mm.
temperature look like for me? What's the token size for me? What's the token overlap look for me? So you will be going and kind of working on the tuning your model, and eventually once tuning been done, and the tuning can be on multiple space or multiple stages. One more like giving the better prompt to your data, or giving the better example to your
Mm.
data so that it can learn, and based on that it will able to provide you a response. Yeah.
Interesting. One question I have is there's a lot of talk about generative AI right now. What are you seeing happening with the popularity of classical machine learning? Like you mentioned personalization earlier. That's been around forever. Forecasting has been around for a long time. Um, what are you seeing with non-generative AI interest?
It's gonna be like once that hype cycle will slow down, because what will happen is, especially on the personalization, because that's where I see lot and lot of directions. Because hey, we wanted to present our customer because in a way should be unique to them. It should be like very catered to their experience. So we were doing the personalization, and with the personalization space, the personalization was there, but now if I when I say personalization was there, it was presented in an old manner. More like, hey, if I'm going and talking, if I'm going and searching something, I've been getting the product catalog,
Right,
which is there. But now with the Gen AI, I've been going and getting to see the product catalog, which is more like aligned to my taste. If I've been buying something which has been more around the blue and something, I should not be getting something red, right? So
right.
more like, if this is more around the blue, if like the catalog will get updated in real time. Right now, you don't need to be a model where you will be going all the doing the photo shoots and everything as such, and then only have a limited number of catalog will available. Based on how you've been doing the search, it will be getting updated. Yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah, I'm curious to see what the world looks like after the hype cycles sort of subsided, and I think people kind of get an idea of where it can where these things can be actually applied, and I think also like where the readiness is to do it. Because I think right now, if you're a data or tech executive, or if you're executive at any company, it's not like you're going to say, "Oh, we're totally not interested in AI," because
No, you
we're
can't
not
do.
ready for it. Like you wouldn't say that publicly.
You already that stage is already passed now
Yeah.
because you have you have to. It's not. This is real. This is not the what we had cryptocurrency. Right. So yeah, this is a real. Remember, we had all the discussion around okay how this uh, I forgot the technology behind the cryptocurrency blockchain.
Blockchain. Yeah.
So yeah, how the blockchain's eventually going to transform the entire financial institute or industry and all those good really big talk or similar to what we had around the internet as well, right? So but this is real. This is being I've been in a space. I've been talking to so many customers, and everyone is talking around it. Even other customer who's looking to working on a legacy technology, still they looking to talk about what's going on in this space, what's happening, what other companies are doing in this space. So this is a real. So if someone is still making the mind, they should be no, this is a real.
Oh yeah. I think you mentioned legacy systems too, and it was Andy Jassy. I think a few weeks ago talked about how they were using. You have an internal chatbot called Q or something like that, so. Yeah, refactoring Java 8 to or migrating Java 8 to some recent version of Java. Not sure which version, but yeah,
That
that
was
shaved
17, I believe 17 or something. Yeah.
yeah, like 4,500 people hours or years actually. No, it was years. Was saved from that exercise, which is insane. Um so yeah, and I was talking to somebody this morning about it, and I think the same thing was it like uh IBM sells mainframes and they're selling their generative AI to like move everyone to upgrade everyone from COBOL and their mainframes to like Java. So it's like so the COBOL being the very highly paid sought after profession might go away at some point, which also fits the retirement of most COBOL programmers. So it's perfect time. But um
I started as a COBOL developer, so
oh
yeah.
boy. Would you ever go back and do it?
No. Means I used to enjoy it. Just finding the job was very difficult back in days.
Finding the job?
As a COBOL developer.
Yeah.
So especially when I started my career in 2009, then we had all the recession and everything.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I was a COBOL developer. I was working, and then all of a sudden, okay, now like let's find something different. So
What was that like?
um, I don't know. Means I was very new, so I was working for with a company called Infosys back in India.
Oh yeah.
So and then I was trained into COBOL. I didn't find any project on the COBOL. Look for so long, almost for 7 to 8 months, and then I switched to the data space. Then I started working as an Oracle DBA, then switched to Microsoft SQL DBA. So yeah,
Okay. So, well, it makes sense though, because I think COBOL is mainly associated with, I think banks and old
banks
financial
and all, yeah, and
institutions. And if,
especially around the IBM. So this is very native to IBM. So we've been using IBM systems, which was deployed in a bank back then yes, but
yeah,
now that changes.
yeah, and the financial crash, yeah, it affected banks. Strange as it goes. So it makes sense. Well, it's good you pivoted. What was it like getting into the data space back in the day? Because that was great financial crisis. It was a different world back then. I was working in the data world, but I'd love your perspective on what it was
And I
like.
don't know, means for me, I was freshers at the time, so I didn't had much idea or expertise.
Mm,
Means for me, it's all okay. I'm in org like Infosys, but again they had a really great training facility in Mysore. I'm not sure have you ever been there or not, but they have really good training facilities there. So they used to train us, and then they help us to find project based on their customers here. Uh, so for me, like because I don't think there was. I did not had any experience there. So for me, that first job itself started in a data space because I didn't find much into the COBOL. I did it for almost 1 year, but not on any
Okay.
actual project to say, or for any actual art. So I just
Yeah,
started working on Oracle and then moved to the Microsoft SQL Server. Yeah.
got it. And now you're at AWS as a solutions architect. Like, what's a day in a life like as a solutions architect? I've always wondered.
Mm, yeah. Uh, Actually, I did a podcast on this one, the same
Okay.
topic. So day to day is every day is a new day as in solution architect because one thing which I really like about this job is it's like you're getting paid to learn stuff. But sometimes it's daunting as well because hey, you've been going and talking to person who's their day-to-day job is the same job, right? And he's been doing same stuff from ages. Now you have to go and match their skill or in a call. So you have to sometimes there are stuff which you are not aware. You have to go and learn about it even before going and presenting it. That kind of create a little challenge in a way like okay, you've been learning the stuff like just learn the stuff like couple night back, and then you will be going and presenting in front of like 7, 10, 20, 50 people. So that's there. But also it brings an opportunity in a way like as well because now you've been constantly learning about new stuff, right? So being a solution architect is always, I think, give you a lot of exposure around the technology for sure. What's going on in the market, you have to keep yourself updated. Also, you should be really good, should have a really good business acumen. You should able
Mm,
to read the table, you should able to read the room, what they're looking to discuss, what they wanted to discuss. You have to pivot sometime. So sometime I'm going in a call and the whole, hey, this is what the customer wanted to discuss about, and all of a sudden there is a certain different discussion altogether. So you have to you have even if you're not knowing the topic, right? You should be kind of smart or intelligent enough to say, hey, or courageous enough to say, hey, I don't know this topic. Maybe I can come back or I can bring someone else.
hmm.
Yeah, that's what the day to day look like. Someday you excel, someday you feel like, okay, I don't know anything.
How do you read a room?
Uh, More around, when you're sitting with a bunch of engineers, right? Then you do not want to go and talk on. Then you want to be very very specific. Hey, this is the use case. This is what you have asked. This is how you've been done. This is being solved. But when you're going and talking to like executives and everything as such, you do not want to go into weeds. Hey, okay, you will be going super deep how the transactional data lake work, how the
Right.
snapshot get managed, blah blah blah. No, you do not want to. Why it's important? That's what like the discussion is. Uh, Other is like okay, are there an actual work happening or someone is just doing some kind of a science project, right? Those kind of stuff. And more importantly, I think still remember my first manager, and I did not had any sales experience in my life at all. So I was not even aware what the solution architect looked like when I joined AWS. I just joined it because I wanted AWS. They asked, "Hey, can you join AWS?" I just gave an interview, and got selected, and AWS is a big brand, right? So I thought like let's join anyways. So but earlier I used to go in a because I had a data background and data engineering background. I used to go really deep in the technology and this is how it works from very very deep level. My manager said like, okay, you bore the audience because you've been going so really deep around it. You only have an hour call or 30-minute call, 45-minute call. You can't be go so deep, so you have to, when you go there, your task will be you will be going and explaining why you are here, what you're looking to talk, and what the next. Unless until you are not able to achieve these three things, you are not doing a great job. So that was a great learning for me. Now, if I go into call, so I just first explain, hey, this is why I'm here. This is what things we are looking to talk. This is what we are looking to expect out of this call. And this is once we're done, then once we conclude the call, hey, this is the next action item looks for you for us, either for me to follow up or for customer to follow up on this three topic. So I always ensure, okay, this is this is my call should be structured.
It takes a lot to learn that though. It's like,
Yeah, it's first few calls definitely going to be daunting because you're not used to of that setup, right? But
yeah,
eventually it get better. Now it's kind of some kind of a you know implanted there. So now you
sure.
will be going into call and hey, this is what the audience look like. Hey, this is what people like, introduce yourself. So this is what they do. And I usually ask them, hey, why you are here in this call? So that's what I usually do when I go and talk, hey, Mr. Customer, help me to your role, why you are here to call. So they explain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good question. Because then I love asking questions like that are more directed, like open-ended questions back to people, because then they own the answer. So like, why are we here? And it's like, I'll tell you why we're here. It's like, yeah, great, thank you. Now we know why you're here. So it's
exactly. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
and you're not telling them like, here's why we're here. So yeah, what you reminded me of is one of my old bosses. I this is when I was early too. I'd go into meetings and just I don't know, just spew nothing but like math at people. And he pulled me aside and he's like, "Look, if I ask you for the time, don't tell me how to make a watch. Just tell me the time." I was like, "Okay, that's a good point." So
no, of course, yeah, that's a
he's
good.
being gentle, but yeah, I was like, I won't do that again. So, because yeah, you're absolutely right. You can bore people to tears, and you only have so much time. I mean, especially when you're with clients, it's like because every day is sort of every day is kind of an interview, with clients, and so you got to bring it every day. Um,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. You have to be on your A game. And because every time you will be going with a new customer, new faces, new
mhm.
expectations, and so and the thing is like you represent like your org. You are the
Yeah,
you can think of like first responder. So you will be like, hey, if you have a great experience and means if your customer and especially within our Amazon. Uh, One thing I have learned within the Amazon is especially is the leadership principles which we have. Those are really true in a way. Initially, because I worked in a company, we used to have this LPs, but primarily more around it's more around a decorative. Hey, we will be posting on the wall, writing in the big letters, but no one follows.
right.
But here in Amazon, those are real stuff. At least I see on a day-to-day basis, or you can challenge anyone based on the leadership principle. Hey, this is good for customer. I'm doing it anyway. So
That's
that's
cool.
that's like that's helped a lot because if or any company just follow their basic foundations, that's help to grow. And that's why like even after 5.5 years, I do not feel like okay, it's a boredom for me now. I'm not learning something new or something exciting. So yeah.
Is it true that Amazon does the written um meetings or it's six pager, I think it's called, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a different process altogether. So it means we have a six pager, we have a two pager, we have a I don't know, there are PRFAQ. So that's what like usually. So if you're looking to
Okay.
present some idea, you can write it down. You can present to your leadership, and if they feel like this is good and able to, they allow you to pursue it. Yeah.
Maybe tell the audience why things are written and 'cause I think it's
In a
kind of
paper.
yeah.
Yeah, again, right. When you write something, right, you put a lot of thought around it. When you talk, means and especially when you're looking to write something, you will be kind of uh more like juggling your ideas. Hey, this is like, collecting all your thought and then you're putting on a paper,
Yeah.
especially if you're going to present to someone, right? You want to be, hey, when I'm presenting to someone, this is what actually I intend, right? When we say based on, okay, how I'm saying it, when I'm saying it, that may or may not value. But when I write something, this is right on a paper, like, okay, this is actual stuff.
Hmm.
And and more importantly, as is like it allow you to formulate it well. It allow you to think through it, and then you will be writing it down. So that's what, and it will be easy for anyone to go and read around it and put attention and provide you feedback, so you can go and work upon that feedback.
Do you do that instead of PowerPoints then? Because I heard that PowerPoints at Amazon are sort of um, not looked highly upon. Is that true, or is that urban legend?
No, no, it's depend where which settings you are in.
Okay.
If especially internal settings where my managers or anyone is presenting, hey, this is what we're looking to do. They do not go and present me the slides, right? They just kind of provide me a doc for me to go and read around it, provide me feedback and all. That's more like the doc reading sessions. Whereas when we go in front of customer, we can't just go, hey,
Right.
hey, Mr. Customer, read this doc.
Do you mind
Oh, yes,
reviewing this real quick?
yeah.
It's
I'll
like,
just read this very quick and then we'll come back in after 10 minutes. No, it's again, both has its places.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay. That helps distinguish it. But internally, is it do you guys use
yeah, internally, you don't see much of presentation unless until it's
okay.
a technical presentation where I'm going and presenting someone around some technology or something. But like
Right.
around the meetings and all, it's more on a doc,
Oh, that's
like
cool.
when they ask you to read the doc. And if I'm like, when I'm doing something to my team, I will be writing something down. Hey, let's read for 10 minutes and then we come back and then we have a discussion on top of it.
That's awesome. I have like a huge allergic reaction to PowerPoints for some reason. Like I can't stand
Yeah,
them.
I
I'm
think
putting
that,
together slides right now for my presentations 'cause I'm about to go on tour, speaking tour. But I was like, even that, I'm just like, I really don't. I'd rather not just not have slides.
I do not. Means usually when I go and present my customer, either open console or just kind of have one-on-one call with them. Yeah, sometimes you're putting so much effort. And also if I'm looking to use PPTs, probably like tell, show, tell. So just telling them and then showing them, then telling them, then showing them, but just not going on the entire end-to-end PPT unless until you are in a setup where, hey, we wanted to go and learn about the stuff, which
Right.
the way for you to do it through the PPT.
Makes sense. That's awesome. Kind of closing out, like, what are you excited about over the next year or two?
Yeah, definitely. I'm having baby, so
Oh,
uh,
congrats.
yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
So I'm looking forward to it. And on the professional side, definitely how the technology is evolving. That's very fascinating to see. And definitely as we talked around the influence of Gen AI, how it's gonna change overall landscape. Because this
Yeah.
is fundamental change happening around us. So how like slowly and gradually, when this hype cycles settle down, then we're going to see an actual evolutions around it. Well, I'm looking to excited to see what kind of startups gonna come, what all things we able to do, right? So yeah, those I'm looking forward to see. Okay, and then also I'm looking forward to learn and
Yeah.
make friends like you. So this way, have much more learning.
There's always something to learn. I mean, even I have like massive imposter syndrome, so it's always just every day learning new stuff. And you never feel, I don't know about you, but it's both great and it's terrible, but it's like you're like, I know nothing. And it's I'm sure, yeah, you have that look on your
Yeah,
face. You're
it's
like,
true.
yeah.
It's true.
It's
True.
like
It's very, very true because especially when you work with an org like an AWS, right, where you see, hey, every time you meet someone more smarter than you, more knowledgeable than you feel like, hey, this guy is so really smart and you should be. And then you start feeling, why am I talking sense? Am
hmm
I, it is, so that's very, very, very real. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Well, awesome. It's been great talking to you. And yeah, excited for yeah, excited for you. Yeah, get a kid. That's awesome on the way. And that's um yeah, it brings back a lot of memories. I'm a dad of two kids, and it's definitely a new chapter when that happens. But I'd say it's an awesome chapter. So yeah, really excited for you. And you got a podcast? Where's that at? Is it just YouTube or other places?
It's on my YouTube, so I do on my YouTube channel. I try to do on LinkedIn as well, but
Nice.
some I'm still very new. I'm not as professional as you are, so I'm still trying to learn. Hopefully, give me some lessons someday. So
Have me on the show sometime. That'd be fun. I would say the only thing with podcasts, the only thing I will say is it comes down to consistency. That's all it is. It's nothing more, nothing less. Like you're gonna look back on your first few episodes, you're gonna look back in your first year of episodes and think those were complete garbage. I don't know. That's how I looked at mine. I'm like, they weren't that bad, but when you compare them to like kind of how you evolve, it's just you get a lot better, more comfortable with it. You figure out the tricks in the trade and all that stuff. But it's like, it's I would say it's never easy, but it definitely you learn to find what's going to work for you, and that's most
yeah, of
important.
course, yeah.
So yeah, but it's fun. I mean, I can roll out of bed and put my headphones on and do a podcast, and that's actually what I usually do. So, but that came with practice, right? So, but it's something I guess maybe that makes it sound like I take it for granted. I don't, but it's just if this you kind of get this routine down, is what I'm saying. So
Exactly.
it's
Agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome, man. Well, cool. Well, we'll hopefully see you at a reInvent if you are gonna be
Yeah,
there.
I'm going on a reinvent. Yeah.
Cool.
If you're there, I'd love to meet you there then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to meet up. So
Of
cool.
course.
All
Because
right. Take care, Navy.
yeah, thanks for having me here. Yeah.
Anytime. Take care.
Take care. Bye.